Hi guys. So we are doing here what I thought would be the better way to tell you all about it, my month, and what I've read, of course. This was very interesting month in terms of reading, and overall in terms of horror. Basically every October I do something that I called October Horror Fest, and that's basically I in the first year I only watch movies, horror movies, one per month, and make a review on my blog. Then in the second year I try to do that, but including series and animes. And now this is the third year I'm doing this, and although I've watched more than the 31 movies. Now we are at 29th of October, but basically I've already watched 31 or more. I've also read horror novels, so I try to include them there as well. So this was a fantastic, to say the least, month for me. Just so you know, I'm currently finishing my last book. I'm 250 pages, but I believe I can do it in 2 days. It's Bentley Little Summoning, and I'm going to start with this one. Bentley Little, it's one of my favorite writers. There's no doubt about it. I really enjoy his writing style. I really enjoy his stories because he makes horror situations out of nothing. If you've watched The Association, for example, of the store, while the store is the vile organization, and you never really know what's happening to what's the evil. You can even give a face to the evil, and that's very, very cool. Yeah, basically it's one of my favorite writers. Here we've got a more personal, and I believe Bentley Little here was just starting writing. This was not the first. If this is not the first one book he wrote, but it was, I believe, the third one or not, or the first one. I don't know. I believe the first one was the Revelation, but okay, maybe I'm mistaken. But basically, here it's in a town. There's some strange thing. People are being devoured. Devour of their blood, and nobody knows what's happening. There's a lot of drama between the main character, who is a journalist, and a Chinese woman who wants to integrate society. And believe me, this is 1993, so there is no woke movement and so on, and so this feels right. This feels something interesting to me. It's not trying to pandering, and just so you know, Bentley is married to a Chinese woman, which I find very funny, because in the first novel, this one is he calls her my girlfriend, and then afterwards in the later novels, in the later series, it's his wife, a Chinese wife. And what I find very strange is here where it says about the author, and says his girlfriend is Chinese. Why? What does it matter? Nada. But okay, he wants to say everyone, hi, I'm married to a Chinese. Whatever, man. But yeah, apart from that, so let's start with the novels I've read. Okay, the first one I've read, and I made a review. It was Edward Lee, Trolley number 1852. Basically, this is a horror story where you've got, what if Lovecraft needed money, and so start doing pornographic stuff. I write a pornographic story mixed with Cthulhu. This is the story. Very good. I really enjoy it. I've got 2 more in the Edward Lee series of Cthulhu, and I'm going to read it pretty soon. The next novel I've read, but I've taken a lot of time, and probably the worst of them all, it was Black Helicopters by Caitlin Kiernan. I didn't enjoy this book at all. I didn't know what's happening. It didn't follow. It followed supposedly the first one, but it felt strange, and I didn't enjoy it at all. I start reading 50 pages and I give up. Then I start reading again and finish it in one go because I was sick of the story. I didn't enjoy it at all. The third one I've read was The Devourer Below. Basically, this is an anthology made by Aconite. Yeah, they're doing some Lovecraft novels based on the game, not stories themselves. Okay, so basically, the board games are based on the Lovecraft and mythos, not Lovecraftian stories, but Lovecraft mythos. And this one is based on the game itself. If you play the game, I would advise you to grab it, because some cards there have stories, and these are the stories. What I didn't enjoy, and that's why I gave it a 5 out of 10, it was because it had a lot of woke moments. Like in 8 stories there were 3 gay couples, and women were trying to bear in mind that I support equality, okay? But if the story is set in 1920, it's normal that this stuff didn't happen, okay? This is 1920, 30. This is not 2020. So it made no sense to have that moments there. Okay, a woman struggling, I understand. A black person struggling, I can understand, and would be interesting to read. But the all stuff are gay and they are come out. They didn't come out in the 1920s, but whatever. Read if you enjoy the board game, but if you don't like woke movements, then you are not going to enjoy this. The next one was Hotham. This one is a Zor by David Moody. This is a horror zombie stuff. This was the first zombies story published. First of all, let me give you a story. I read this book 20 years ago, basically. Not 20, but almost 20 years ago. 18 or so. I was working, it was my first job, I was working late, and I remember I didn't have that much money. I remember he gave this book away via a book in 2001. I remember downloading, reading, enjoyed a lot, and one of the reasons I enjoyed zombies is because of this guy. So recently I bought the I then bought another book by him, David Moody, Haters. I didn't enjoy, so I forgot about him. But I was moving my stuff. I remember having buy the 3 first novels on the series. So I said, what the heck? I really enjoy it. Let's read it, and I do enjoy it. I give it an 8 out of 10. It's a good horror story, zombie horror story, but the zombies here don't behave like you expect them to behave in horror zombies, because this is the start of the zombie apocalypse. The zombies are emerging. Most of the population died, so they are emerging, but they don't behave like zombies. They aim to eat you, okay, in the beginning. And as the story progresses, so the zombies progress. That's very cool. And believe me, this is the first one. This is the first zombie novel published that was come out. You've got The City by Brian Keane. You've got History Z, I believe, or something like that, World War Z, but they are 2003, 2004 and so on. This guy was one of the first publishing in paper zombies series. The next one I've read was an audiobook, Alien Sea of Sorrows. This is the second novel on the aliens, and then this is an audiobook. I don't have the book itself, of course. Audiobook. Then this was the first Wednesday of the month. The second Wednesday of the month, I heard the River of Pain, the third Alien series, and I enjoyed them. But both series are basically set in between movies. So, what happened between book 1 and movie 1, movie 2? What happened between movie 2 and movie 3? And that's it, basically. And I really enjoy. I'm so much that I'm looking forward to read to hear other movies, audiobooks in this case. The next novel I've read was Anathemas. I don't know. This is one. This is an anthology by Warhammer Horror, and I enjoyed them. I gave it a 7 out of 10. There are a couple of stories I didn't enjoy. I didn't feel connected. Basically, these are stories based on Sigmar and 40k universe. The 40k universe, it's one that I'm very I understand a bit. I've read hundreds of novels, so I can't connect with them. The Sigmar world, I can't connect because I've never read anything in it, but I tried. This is the second anthology. I tried to read Sigmar stories so I can get into it bit by bit. I've got novels to read, but so far I've not read. So good, and some stories are good, most of them are meh. But as I said, probably because I am not very fluent on the whole Sigmar universe. Then I start reading This Present Darkness by Frank Peretti, a Christian horror novel, and I stopped and I read and I stopped and I just finished yesterday. To me, although I did enjoy the setup and so on, I believe the novel is not that great. I don't understand the rating in Goodreads. This novel is too big. There are repetitive scenes. There are a lot of stuff and going on. A lot of characters, angels, demons, and people. We've got. I wrote. I don't know why I raised my paper, but here it is. These are all the characters, plus this one. There are a lot of characters, are all jumping around in the same in the same chapter. We jump from one to another. It's very confusing, to be quite honest. It's good horror story, but it has a lot of Christian elements that basically it feels like he is a fundamentalist writing and saying Christianity is perfect and everything else is crap. Everything that is not Christian is crap or wrong or evil and so on. I am not upset because I don't have a religion per se, but even then I thought it was a lot to take, to be quite honest. Then the next novel I read was Nightfall. This is Nightfall. This is the first novel in the Nightmare Land Volume 1 by Daniel Barnett. This is a collection of 12 novels. I've got 5 because the writer only published 5. But I'm enjoying the first one. It's the setup basically, and we just met the two main characters, and they are going on a journey through a land that's dark and so on. Let's see. if he published the remaining ones. The next one I've read was The Night Silver River Runs Red, and I enjoyed the novel. Compared it with the other splatter westerns I've read, this was the best one, and I enjoyed them. There are a couple of themes that the novel is divided in three, basically, and you can get the drift is three short stories connected, but overall, I don't know if that's the case, but overall I enjoyed reading this. I've got all novels. I'm going to read it, although I never rated one more than 6, but I'm still going to read it. And the last one's Hot Zone, the first novel in the Stephen Conkley series. I audiobook it last Wednesday. It's a series called The Zulu Virus, the first one in 3, and I enjoyed it, to be quite honest. But I believe it was the first of a trilogy, basically. That you've got to set up there, and I believe that the author wrote a big novel and chuck it in 3, because the novel just stops. And let's go to the second one. It's the beginning of some kind of plague that's making people sick and attacking others and so on. Probably or a zombie kind of stuff. Audiobook, I enjoyed around 8 hours or so. So let's see if I'm going to the next month read audiobook the second and the third one. The last one was Whitefire by Brian Keane. I made a review recently. I gave it a 6 out of 10, but I could have given more if I, honest to God, don't understand why. This was published in 2006. The author then made the stuff in 2019, and it was 2018, and Trump was back in town, and therefore this guy had to wait some kind of people, and he has a passage here that make me don't understand. Why did you had to go back to the novel and write something stupid like it's basically a flag from the bad guys from from the Second World War, and he has some frog emblazoned on it and some depiction of it. Why that it makes no sense, because he's basically telling, okay, tornado blows some houses away and so on, and one of the houses it blows away was a alt-right guy who had that flag and so on. It's 5 sentences that makes no purpose at all. You could have said anything at all, but you had to grab, okay, it was alt-right. Okay, why? Tornadoes only blow away alt-right guys? It makes no sense. It was pandering, pure pandering to the left. And to me, that's a no. I don't enjoy that. If you want to do a left-wing book, okay, do it. But don't go pandering just to I'm doing because this is the new thing to do. It's being hateful of people that identify to the right and so on, and calling everyone racist and so on. This is bad. To me, this was a no-go to Brian King. I was trying to buy his next novels he wrote recently, because I enjoy his Labyrinthine Mythos, but I'm not going to try to buy them. I'm not going to spend money on a guy who hates people and had to rewrite a goddamn novel to say, okay, this happens, and the guy with the flag was blown away and so on. It makes no sense. The story was good, and then there is a gay character that feels strange. I do believe that he rewrote it in 2018 as well. I do believe he made him a gay. and basically that's it. That's all the novels I've read. So we're talking about 13 books, 3,000 and something, 3,600 pages, which is very, very cool to me, and the personal record since I'm reading from 2001, 2 or so. It's very cool. The next month, I'm going to try to read more thrillers / sci-fi. Artemis by Andy Weir, Dune Messiah, trying to reread it, to read the next one. Speaker of the Dead by Orson Scott Card, Alien Game by Rod Walker, The Victorious by Jack Campbell, the last one of the series. Probably this one will be my first. Firefall by Peter Watts, a horror story. And as I said, Artemis by Andy Weir. And if I have the possibility, Superluminary by John C. Wright. Yeah, that's everything for me, guys. Thank you. Have a nice month.